Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this important forum as we prepare for the November 2024 general election. My name is Terry Hopkins, and I proudly serve as the President and CEO of the Grants Pass and Josephine County Chamber of Commerce. This forum is a testament to the importance of civic engagement and the responsibility we all share in shaping the future of our community. Voting is not just a right, but a critical way for each of us to have a voice in the policies and decisions that affect our businesses, our community, and our families. The choice we make at the ballot box will have a lasting impact on the prosperity of our community and Oregon as a whole. As the Chamber of Commerce, we stand as an advocate for our local businesses. Our goal is to ensure that the needs of business owners, employees, and entrepreneurs are heard by those in positions of leadership. That's why tonight is so important. We're bringing together the candidates running for representative of Oregon's House District 3 so that you, the voters, can better understand their values, their strategies, and how they plan to support the growth of businesses and economic development in our district. Our local businesses are the heartbeat of this community, providing jobs, supporting families, and contributing to the quality of life we all enjoy. Tonight you will hear directly from the candidates about how they intend to support that heartbeat and advocate for the policies that will help businesses thrive. Thank you again for being here and for your commitment to the future of Grants Pass and our state. Let's begin. We are joined today by candidate Dwayne Yunker, candidate for representative of Oregon's House District 3. Representative Yunker, welcome and thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me come here.
You betcha. So just a few ground rules. We're going to begin the forum with a 2-minute self-introduction. We'll follow up with a series of questions. Each of those will get 90 seconds. And at the end, we're going to pass it back to you to let the constituents know what you're all about and why they should be checking that box.
Okay.
So with that, let's begin and give you your 2 minutes and just introduce yourself to folks at home.
Yeah, for people that don't know me, I moved here as a child, a really young child, early 80s, and my parents brought me. I'm like a lot of people from Southern California. I hate that word, but because I feel like I'm an Oregonian because that's where I grew up here and went to elementary school, middle school, and graduated from Hidden Valley High School. I grew up in a very poor family. I tell people, I was on the reduced, free lunch thing growing up because my dad didn't make a lot. He worked in the logging, driving a log truck and working in the mills and retired from Boise Cascade. And my mom sometimes worked in the kitchen in the schools. So, I have 2 brothers that, also graduated high school with me. I think one's your age. If I can go on. I went into the military right away after high school. Wasn't too sure that college was for me right away, and I did 21 years in the military. I got to spend some of that time here in the military recruiting, so I recruited twice here. I have a business degree I got when I was in the military, and when I got out, I first started working for child welfare. I really wasn't sure what I was going to do right away. I pinned about law enforcement, but I went into child welfare for a couple of years. A very hard job removing children. And my wife's like, you've always been into real estate, selling houses, buying houses. So I went into real estate, got my license, been done very well in that. I got 4 children, 3 in college, one's married now, and he's a high school counselor for up north. So, I got a lot going on. My wife's a 5th grade teacher. I've been a city councilor here for the last couple of years, and then I was a state rep since appointed last December. So I'm true. This is my town. This is where I grew up, and this is what I care about.
Great, thank you, and thank you for your service to our country. That means a lot. Let's dive in. Start just a little bit deep. I mean, one of the things that voters are going to see on their ballot that comes out here in the next few days is a ballot measure 118. It's garners quite a concern from some of our business community. The measure would impose a 3% tax on many businesses in Oregon with a promise to divvy up money raised among over 4 million Oregonian residents, no matter their age. Are you in support or opposition of 118?
Well, I'm deeply against 118. I think it's a very flawed bill coming from, I don't even know actually where it's coming from. we already have a scarce of businesses that want to stay here due to some of the regulations, taxes and stuff like that. Why would we want to put another burden on our businesses? I would even see, companies like Nike and, all these other ones into, why would you stay here? Oregon, if you look at rich states, poor states, Oregon ranks on the low end of business friendly, and this would be another unfriendly thing for businesses. And I wouldn't blame people for leaving here. And as we all know, Dutch Brothers moved their headquarters. For them, it's a smart move because of taxes. Our taxes are not friendly to businesses, so 118 would definitely drive more businesses away and less jobs here.
Yeah. Thank you. And let's before we move forward, rewind the clock just a little bit. As you very well know, in November 2020, Oregonians passed Measure 110, which decriminalized the possession of hard drugs. Earlier this year, and I think you were up there when we made changes with House Bill 4002, which recriminalized drug possession. But do you feel that those revisions are enough? And how would you engage to further the conversation on Measure 110?
Well, I think it was a start, but a very poor start, the way I look at it. With my experience working with child welfare, a lot of your things are drug related. So I know that area very well, and drugs, it's not a Democrat-Republican thing when you're talking about drugs. They take all families. Everybody knows somebody that's been addicted to drugs or alcohol or something. And I think this 4002 is a poor bill when it didn't really address treatment. We still have the loopholes to get into treatment is so bad. We've actually have less beds today than we had 10 years ago. I bet that really well known that this, if you're going to treat people, they got to be inside of a treatment. I even look here locally and said, a person living on the streets here can't go down and get a 1 hour class or 2 hour class and then go back to the J Street Park, and think he's going to stay clean. It's just not going to happen. They need to move away from the situation and totally be reprogrammed their life. And so I think 4002 has a lot of things that need to be fixed, and we need to really focus on the treatment part of things.
Yeah. Well, as promised, let me get out of those bills and start looking forward.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about small business support. As you know, with me here at the Chamber, it's our mission to support and promote local commerce through communication, advocacy, and partnerships. And we absolutely, I'm sure as you share, believe that small businesses are the backbone of our local economy. What policies would you support or introduce to help small businesses thrive, especially in rural communities like Grants Pass and our surrounding area?
Yeah, we have some changes that are happening at the state already, and we're going to have a new person in charge of the economic development that I'm actually in that committee right now. And we'll see if they keep me there. Obviously, I'm not in charge, but I see not a good focus on Southern Oregon. I've had this conversation with the chair of that thing, and they just seem to focus more on Portland. There's a lot more people there, but we have 5 of the poorest zip codes in the state right here in this county. 5 out of 6, and I think we need to look at what has happened over the years. My time of 40-some plus years living here of logging and manufacturing, and I would like to see things that would definitely make the cost of things go down. We talk about electricity, but we don't talk about the most cleanest electricity possible. That's nuclear, and everything needs electricity to manufacture things, make things. The states that have the cheapest electricity are doing the best. So I think we could do a lot better when it comes to green stuff. So I'm looking forward to trying to help push that stuff down. We are on the I-5. There's no reason why we can't be doing better than we are.
And kind of an adjoining cog in that wheel, workforce development. And as the Chamber, we do the business survey, and many local businesses still continue to point to the challenge of finding skilled workforce or keeping workforce in our valley. What initiatives would you push for? And I know some of them you have to improve workforce development and ensure that business have access to talent.
Yeah, I think the things that we've been really focusing on, because I've been on the city council for the last 2 years, I don't think most people know, is we've really pushed to over 402 new housing or houses that are going to be developed here, just through initiatives to the city, help, not counting the other things that are, other developers are doing. We need to work on housing. We need to work on education. Oregon is, we just had a stat come out, and 80% of our 11th graders cannot read at level. If we're going to bring good people here to work, they want good schools also. So there's a lot of things that can just come to say, hey, no, we have a job here, but why would a family want to live here if they're not getting good schools, public safety here locally? There is so much things that just come around with workforce. And I do talk to these businesses. I've been out there, and a lot of them just having a hard time. Employees that want to work a 40-hour week. So we got to look at that. We got to look at bringing Oregon, the government's got a lot of money and the people are poor. We need to flip that. I was at a thing this summer, and Rich States, Poor States. It's an ALEC convention, and Art Laffer was talking and gave us this book. And we need to start looking at what other good states are doing and help us out here in locally.
Yeah. Now you mentioned, having grown up in a family that was supported by logging and timber industry, and as we see our community kind of make an evolution, hopefully we hold on to that piece, but we definitely see a growth in the tourism segment of our local economy and supporting jobs. It has a major economic impact here in Southern Oregon. What could you do to enhance that tourism sector and to support local businesses that really depend on that here?
Yeah, I think the city is being part of the city and seeing some of the things, the advertising, the events going on, and obviously the chamber's involved with a lot of those things, is we got to keep showcasing that, hey, Southern Oregon's got a lot of great things here that, our outdoor is just amazing. As long as we can keep the fires out in the summertime, we have the most amazing places to see here in Southern Oregon. It doesn't take long to get to the ocean, and it doesn't take long to get up to Crater Lake. We have the plateaus. We have so much to offer people to do here within a couple hours, and it's amazing. We have the most beautiful place, probably in most of the states. We have great weather here, and we got to keep showcasing the things that we do have here that Southern Oregon has to offer. I think we've been doing that. I think we need to work harder, and I think there's people here that know that that's kind of our big thing right now is tourism here. And I look at the cycle of money is when people are making money, that keeps everybody else is making money and spending money, and all these other industries are doing well. So we always got to keep looking at, if everybody's happy and working and pay their bills, we were going to thrive here.
Yeah, keep coming. And on that, you talked about just the resources that we have here and the ability to get that word out and let people know. One of the things that we've heard recently under current Oregon statute, the lodging tax dollars that we enjoy the locals bring into our community currently are divided up to where there's a reinvestment in tourism promotion, tourism related facilities, getting that word out there. As many communities face shortages in general fund, there's been a push to take away a bit of that piece that continues to promote tourism. I think Oregon revised statute currently lists it as 70-30 split, with 70% going back into the investment and 30% available to go back into general fund and support other things. But if that is presented at the state, switching that split, how do you feel? I mean, have you had conversations in that arena?
Well, I haven't had conversations. I can tell you where I'm at. I am opposed to the state taking as much money as they are. I would like to, and it's just not tourism. It's most things. I think we need to keep our money here locally. I don't feel the state does a good job representing us here locally on a lot of things, and that's for so much of development, so much of everything. Oregon is very unique, and not just it's Portland, but we have Willamette Valley and Farmers and all these different areas in Eastern Oregon. Every area is so much different, and I think the local knows what's best for them. And I'm always for keeping things here local. State takes the money, spends the money not very wisely. I think here locally we have our great people here, the chamber and the city and all these other groups that come together know what's best for us, and I don't see a Portland bureaucrat knows what's best for Josephine County or even City of Grants Pass or even Cave Junction.
Well, you teed it up for me, so thank you.
Yeah.
Because the next question, is about legislative collaboration, and in the state of Oregon, that can be tough. Again,
Yes.
we are a diverse state. So how, if you did, plan to collaborate with other lawmakers, whether it's within or across party lines, to pass legislation that supports growth of businesses and economic development? And again, I'm going to tie it back into rural Oregon here.
Yep.
Yeah.
That takes time building rapport up there. I didn't get a lot of time up there this last short session. I was kind of, a month in there. But I really have built some rapport with some of the people that I would probably disagree on most things with. But you get to sit there and talk with them or hey, we disagree on a lot of maybe other social things, but we do agree on people working. We agree on these other things. Everybody's got to work. Everybody's got to, have certain things. So I think building those relationships and kind of moving away from the social issues and so much and more really focusing on just giving people the right to work, the right to live. And I stopped talking about the social issues because those just divide us all. But everybody's got to work. Everybody has got to, buy groceries. Everybody's got to go to the doctors. Everybody's got to do these natural things that we all do. But we really focus on social issues, and that's probably not the main priority that we should be focused on. We should be focusing on how does everybody just have their families taken care of, how they're doing, and I think there is common sense up there. And there is more common ground on those things up at the state. But social issues do take over a lot up there.
Before we wrap up here, throw you a little bit of time to dream, but if you could get one bill and only one bill and you knew it would pass up in Salem in this session, what would you pick?
Yeah, I heard this a little bit over a month or so ago on the radio, and I was like, this is the best thing ever. I think it was out of Idaho. If I could pass any bill possible, I would pass a bill that we went through our old regulations and just take them, I work a lot with developers and building because I'm in real estate, is we really need to go back and go through these old things and just cut things that are just worthless, that we're not doing anymore. We need to be more about pro-people versus pro-government when it comes to building or regulations or developing. So if I can cut 20-30% of those old regulations, I think it would help so much for businesses, development, all those things. So that would be my dream. If the state of Oregon could go back and just do a cut of things that we just are not needed anymore. I never hear about people, hey, there's 20 things we need to cut off of regulations or stuff. It's always about new stuff. So that would be a dream.
Okay, great. Well, and I want to thank you for being here. Before we go away, just give you the opportunity after we've rolled through some of these questions to talk to the constituents at home, wrap it up like we began and let us know how you can represent us and why we check the box next to your name.
Yeah, I would just hope people know that I'm all in for Josephine County. That's me. This is my home. This is where I raise my kids. I want to make it a place where I hope my kids want to live. You know what I'm saying? I like to bring my 26-year-old back here, where there's jobs here for him to work and his wife and, maybe my grandkids when he does have those. Not yet, sorry. But, that we're all just happy here. That social issues divide us, but we all want those basic things, and I'm for those basic things. We need to focus on making, healthy families, jobs. I'm for everything that I'm for smaller government. I want the state of Oregon to stop taking so much money and put more money back in our pocket. So that's definitely where I look at things. Is I don't want to keep growing the government up there, and I want to if I can pull back things and reverse, like I said before, is the people should have more money than the government, and I feel like we're not in that way. But I'm going to focus on that way. People can go to my elect Dwayne Yunker website. They could donate however they want. But I appreciate being allowed to represent this county. Most of the county, about 80% of it, and I'm going to keep working hard as long as I'm there.
Good, thank you. And you said it, but I'm going to ask you to say it again. Whether it's been with your time in City Council or up in Salem, the Chamber has always been able to communicate with you. But for the folks at home that might want to reach out and ask questions, learn more about your values, your campaign, get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you when you're up in Salem?
When I'm up in Salem, they could go to the state legislature website, Oregon State Legislature. It has every representative up there, also state and Senate. They can email me. That's the best way. My staff, if I don't get back to you, my staff will. I have full-time staff. I'm supposed to be a part-time employee, but I do have full-time staff that make way more money than I do, and we are always out there. One of the biggest things we're getting a lot of requests for is usually unemployment. That is our biggest help. They're always with that Francis system really messed up. So we're always there to help navigate that and get that back door to get you a contact and help people. So. We're trying to do our best to serve everybody as much as possible up there.
Great. Well, thank you again, Dwayne, for throwing your name in the hat to represent us again in Salem. Best wishes on the campaign trails.
Thank you.
We will talk again soon.
Okay.
Thanks.